So I got this email, right? From American Software Testing Qualifications Board, right? And it says how to build experience in software testing. Employers want experience, but if you never had a job in software testing, how can you build experience for your first job? And that is an excellent question. I know so many people have racked their brains with that question. Like they say, I need experience. However, I just learned this. I never actually had to work this before. How can I build experience? So let's see what they say. Or if you're between jobs, how can you keep? Let me start a timer. By the way, let's go with. Hopefully this timer works. Yes, there we go. So how can you keep your so if you're between jobs, how can you keep your resume current and your skills sharp? Here's what you should consider. So let's see what they say. What should you consider? The good news, right? The good news is that sometimes ISTQB certification can substitute for job experience. I'm going to tell you a little secret, all right? Listen up. ISTQB certifications will never, ever substitute for job experience. Sorry to tell you that, all right?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
That will never happen. If you know how many people I've come across who are ISTQB certified and they can't even get an interview.
Bruh.
Why is that? Because on their resume, it will say that they are ISTQB certified, and that's it. That's it. It just means that they studied to pass a test. This thing is really, really annoying me right now. Give me a second. I thought I'd fixed this before. Maybe I fixed it for the other one. Pardon my OCD. All right, much better. Oh, that thing was driving me crazy. All right, so like I was saying, they'll apply for countless amount of jobs, but their resume has ICQB certified, and then no skills, no work experience, no nothing. So ICQB will never substitute job experience. I'll tell you this. I was this morning on a coaching call, which I'm going to make a video about this for the Patreon as well, on how to search for jobs and reach out to different people in those companies. I'm going to make a Patreon video exclusive for that, right? But found this company and they were listing the requirements for the job. And at the very, very end, at the very, very bottom, they said desirable ISTQB certification or working your way towards it. So it's not even a requirement to get the job. They wanted you to actually do something just before, you know? So that's why I say this right here, you are fake news. I need the soundbite. I need the soundbite. You are fake news. You do not need, like, ICQB certification will not substitute job experience. Just saying. All right. So moreover, ICQB software testing certifications and AT asterisk or squared, I don't know, SQA software testing micro credentials are needed to prove your software testing knowledge, and testers report that they help getting interviews. Another, you are fake news. I've never even heard of this thing right here. And I guarantee you, most QA managers never heard of this either. All right? It's BS. Never heard of this. I remember, I know one person, I know two people who It might be the same person, but they got ISTQB certified. But guess when they actually got that certification? They got that certification after they became the QA manager for their company. And it was a requirement to have at least one person in your company have that certification to land a government contract. So another I call cap. Companies will always require you to have some type of experience, however you gain it, but it's not being able to pass a test. But how do you get experience if you don't have a job? One idea, use your testing skills in open source software projects. Open source software relies upon open collaboration, meaning...
Back to work, chop, chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
How dare you?
Jesus, so rude. Anyways, like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted, right? Use your testing skills in open source software projects. That I agree. Open source software relies upon open collaboration, meaning any capable user can volunteer to help in development and testing. So so I agree with this, right? This is the only thing out of these 3 points that I agree with. However, this right here should have been the top one. I'm going to add another caveat to it, right? The companies, while this is cool that you contribute to open source, like for me, I would like, oh, that's pretty cool. Someone contribute to open source, right? The problem is working with open source projects is there's no formality. Because like they'll say, okay, wait, we need this done, we need that done. You can just pull something in, you develop it, you submit it as a what do they call it in GitHub again? A fork, right? You create a fork and then you try to merge it back, create a pull request, all that stuff, right? Now, here's the caveat. Here is the caveat. You don't get the so with this, you only get experience of doing like what you had learned in your boot camp or something like that, or in your online course. You don't get that real work experience. How do you work in Agile? How do you work with an actual team who is meeting, who are doing stand-ups, all that good stuff, right? That's lacking in here. It's better than these two, definitely better than these two, but it's lacking that work environment mentality on how you're going to work as a team. Just Friday night, one of my coaching group members who are looking into different things, but right now into product ownership and product management, from about 8 p.m. Eastern time till about almost 10 p.m. Eastern time, was doing a call with the stakeholders. Shout out to your car, one of the stakeholders, on how to build an application and getting what the requirements are of the application so that they can start creating stories, presenting it to the team so that we can build this application. You know? So last up, get started today on a better resume and more job opportunities. Build and prove your skills. ISTQB software testing certifications and these other certification from ISTQB and AT*SQA or times SQA will add you to an official list of certified credentialed software testers, the at work list of testers for hire, and the ISTQB SCR. Guess what? I've never, like, in the past 15, or how long have I personally been hiring? In the past 12 years that I've been participating in the hiring process of different QA engineers, I have absolutely never, ever in my lifetime even known that this list existed.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Then use those skills to gain experience, get started. We have identified several open source projects that appear to need software testers. All right. And I'll wrap it up like this, right? I'll wrap it up with this story. And I've told it before. I've said it before. Let's go back to full screen. Go back to full screen. Okay. Let's fix that. Why is the full screen not working? I get so upset when things don't work. Oops. Oops. Guess I'll do it myself. All right. Not sure what's going on over here. Let me see. That worked. What in the world? Give me this. What is going on over here? What happened to that? Okay. There we go. That was so weird. All right. So this is the story real quick, right? Listen up. I was in this Discord a long time ago. No longer in that Discord, right? But I was in this Discord and it was a bunch of testers in there. And I had just started getting this channel off the ground, and they were all people who were looking to be into QA and stuff like that. Guess what? Guess how many of these people who were looking to get into QA, who signed up for coaching and who even signed up to the Patreon? Guess how many? Guess how many? The answer is absolutely none of them. Till this day, I don't think any of them has ever found a role.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Now, I asked them an interview question. I got this interview question like back in 2015, 2016. The interview question was, what values would you test? Alexis, there goes your first interview question. You can think about it. You don't have to answer right now. You can think about it, right? What values would you test inside of a input field that only accepts values between 10 and 40? That was the question that I asked them. And they started, and all of them were studying for the ISTQB, and they started giving me this weird answer. It sounded like it was the theory of relativity or Pythagorean's theorem. All I know, it was a bunch of words, and I was expecting numbers, and I was like, "What in the world is going on here?" When you are software testing, when you are engineering and you're developing, we don't need a story. We need code. We need answers. We need numbers. If I'm asking for numbers, I'm asking for an integer, don't give me a string. Well, they gave me paragraph upon paragraph, and I was still waiting for an answer. So, yeah. With that being said, that is why I pity the fool who solely relies on the ISTQB certification, even if they tell you that you will get a position with no experience as long as you pass the test. No.
Bruh.
All right, with that being said, we are going to jump into our second segment of this afternoon. But before that, let me read the chat, because I've been talking for way too long. So, Mitch, I just remembered.